I cannot emotionally invest in Trump news and what's happening with this administration like I did the first time because it just frankly takes up too much energy and too much time.
Ooh, this is sounding like a pretty bad take here, Tom.
It's also a distraction. It's not really affecting you the way you think it is. You start to like hear these things and then you just bark at your friend about it. You're like, you just fucking believe this bullshit. It's like, it's not really affecting most people in the way that they think it is and that they say it is. It just isn't.
Yeah, it's a bad take. Um, this is an immense amount of rich white guy privilege showing right here. And while I may understand what the underlying tone of Mr. Segura's point here is, it's very, very poorly made. I get it. Trump news is like drinking from a fire hose, and they're intentionally flooding the zone with the goal of overwhelming the electorate, which apparently Tom feels overwhelmed. But I disagree because I believe that it is affecting a majority of the people in this country. Majority of the undocumented migrant workers are terrified, rightfully so, right now. The women of this country are terrified as to whether or not they're going to be able to register to vote if they have to do so again, and if they're going to need a passport to do so because they had the audacity to take their husband's name after they got married. The LGBTQ plus community is terrified as well. Are their rights being taken away? They're already coming after trans athletes. Who's to say the Obergefell decision in the Supreme Court isn't next on the chopping block? Maybe they won't be allowed to legally be married anymore. Anybody who's pregnant right now could be having some very scary thoughts depending on what state they live in because they're not sure if they'll have access to the health care that they may require. Parents are questioning whether or not they should send their kids to public school or homeschool them because of the curriculum that seems to be being thrust down our throats with Bibles and the Ten Commandments in schools in Oklahoma and Louisiana. And on that note, parents with kids with disabilities are terrified if their kids will even be able to go to school because they want to defund the Department of Education, which provides funding for children with disabilities to go to school to have an equal opportunity at the education that everyone deserves. And to say nothing of the thousands of employees who work for the federal government who have been laid off or who are terrified of being laid off thanks to Elon Musk and his doggy department. So you take all of those hundreds of thousands of people that I just mentioned, possibly millions, and then all of their friends, all of their family members who are also experiencing vicariously the fear and the anger and the trepidation that their friends and family members are going through. And the cherry on top, Mr. Segura is seemingly suggesting that we just turn it off and shut off the news because it's too much to handle. He's encouraging apathy. And that is the worst possible solution in any administration, especially this one. We need to stay informed. We need to stay involved. Democracy only works when we do. And right now, democracy is on the brink of not working.